What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is another episode of the series where I rate your squads in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. So if you guys want the chance to be featured, I think the last week I got something like 25 squads submitted, and I will pick 10 of them. So there is maybe a 50-50 chance if you guys do tweet me with your team. So basically follow me on Twitter at DBGYT. Just literally tweet at me a picture of your team with hashtag RateMyTeam. That's literally how I search it up. Just look up things I'm tagged in with hashtag RateMyTeam. So if you send it in any other way, if you send it in by DM, it just won't be looked at. So anyway, now let's get on to the first person right here. So this guy's squad right here, he likes to play inside out with a heavy focus on defense. Okay. Centers don't need to hit threes. They need to block shots, rebounds, and score near the basket. That's fine. Rely on wings to hit threes or kick to the basket. So what I would suggest, I know this seems a little bit crazy, but I wouldn't use Tim Duncan. No, I wouldn't use Duncan. And I'm going to explain the reason why. Like again, you don't need your centers to hit threes. They do need to block shots, rebound, and score near the basket. Bill Russell does every one of those things better than Tim Duncan. And trust me, using someone like a Richard Jefferson at power forward, I think is going to be more effective because, again, it's a fourth player that you can slash to the basket. But again, if you're actually running through post players, Duncan isn't the worst, but I still do think Bill Russell's better. And I still don't think, as of right now, the way the meta is, the way the blow by is, the way the behind the back dribble is, I don't see there being much use for running two bigs at the same time. There's a reason why there's very few people running bigs. This isn't 2K19. The meta is different. And I know if you have Giannis, I'd use Giannis, but obviously if the guy doesn't have him, I'm guessing no, you have Jefferson, surely you have Giannis. Surely. So again, if you have Giannis, put in Giannis somewhere in that squad. Your point guard's fine. I assume Gilbert Arenas is fully evoed because, well, to be honest, it does take like 2 or 3 games to fully evo him. Your two guards are fine. Small forwards, I hate James Worthy. I just think no range extender equals no good, especially on the wings. I would switch Larry Bird and James Worthy because, again, if you need your 1 to 3 to hit threes, you kind of need someone at range extender in that position. I don't necessarily think Worthy at the 4 is the worst idea in the world. Especially since you have that card, I have to assume that you do have Giannis as well, or you're in the process of getting Giannis. So Giannis is another player obviously to get. You spend your tokens on Grant Hill, which I think, no offense, is probably the worst option of the 3 right now. D-Rob would be a perfect player in the squad, but again, I don't advise you to spend your tokens because we don't know what we're going to get in the next token reward update. It's looking like that's coming sometime this week, but again, I'm not going to say definitely it's coming, but it's looking like it is. I like Bosch, and I'm going to give this team, considering you seem to have almost unlimited MT and almost unlimited players, I'm going to give the way this squad's structured a 7 out of 10. Like in general, there's probably like a 9 out of 10 squad, but considering it seems like you have every player in the game, I can't go higher than 7 because there's definitely some flaws in this squad. And a lot of pick and pops post up, you can get around 20k MT. Okay, so your starting lineup is fine. You don't need to change the starting lineup. I would sell Tony Allen and replace him with Norman Powell for the reason that Norman Powell is literally as good as Tony Allen and significantly cheaper. Kelly Oubre does not have clamps, and I'm saying this right now because Kelly Oubre doesn't have clamps, I don't think he's anything special. I would actually sell Kelly Oubre, put Hito as your 3 on the bench, and then I will put Marcus Morris starting at the 4, and then I replace Tony Allen with Norman Powell, and then suddenly you've got whatever your 20k, you've got about 30-40k for the next time 2K release a good diamond card, so you've got that little bit of MT, as well as making the squad that tiny bit better. Like it's not going to be a significant amount better, it's going to be a very, very small amount better with the changes I suggested, but you also save a lot of MT as well as making the squad better, so you can't go wrong with that. Or if you want, you can put Wade as the 2 and Lowry at the 1, and then obviously replace Oubre with Marcus Morris, and obviously Tony Allen with Lowry. You've probably lost about 6 or 7 KMT, but that makes the team significantly better, and it gives you pretty much a perfect starting lineup and bench offensively and defensively. Your center position's fine. Drive and kick, sometimes 3-point plays. You can't just say sometimes 3-point plays. That's that's literally like complete luck. I don't know why that was put in there, but ISO at Giannis budget 50 to 100k, but it's not relevant. Need suggestions. Okay, so your 1 through 4 in your starters and bench is fine, except I don't know how I feel about Francis. As much as I like Francis on offense, again, defensively he's poor. Brown's okay. Brown is all right, especially for the price. He's all right. Kobe's good. Hedo Turkoglu is good. Blake is good. I don't like Boogie at all. I don't think he brings much on offense or defense. Honestly, I think that replacing Boogie with Miles Turner is again a way of getting a little bit more MT, but like making it, basically keeping it even. I don't think Boogie's any better than Turner, and obviously you're saving a lot of MT by getting Turner. Your starting line's fine. Cat's not the best defensive card, but in my opinion, he's so good on offense that he kind of makes up for the fact he's not good on defense. So honestly, I'm gonna give this team an 8 out of 10. Pretty good team. This team right here, 7.5 out of 10. Like, I'm being harsh because there's been a lot of really good squads we've seen, and made this team without playing online game modes. Okay, it is evident that by this team, it is evident that you have never played any, no offense, but it is evident you've never played any online modes, which is fine because this team is perfectly capable of beating people offline. So players that I would keep: Kyle Lowry and Jaren Jackson Jr. on your bench. Sell Fultz. Fultz has got no quick first step or no clamps. Sell Fultz, sell Kobe. 100% sell Jermaine O'Neal. Sell Whiteside, sell Zion. I don't know what price Jimmer is, and sell Devontae Graham. If you really like Devontae Graham, the one player I would suggest you to pick up is the like 1k MT Darius Garland, who is literally the same card as Devontae Graham. They do everything the exact same, which is actually crazy. But what I would suggest is selling, like, you could sell Kobe and get Jason Terry for the same price, I'm pretty sure. So sell Kobe, get the Jet and put him in as your point guard. Move Norman Powell starting at the 2. Off the bench, the 2, I would probably run someone like, I like Kerry Kittles. I think he fits in well. At the 3, I would play Marcus Morris. Oh no, at the 3 I play, because you can't get everything. And I keep Jaren Jackson on your bench. I put Marcus Morris either at the 3 or the 4. It's kind of hard to think of a team off the top of my head because you got to change pretty much everything. I get rid of Zion because he can't move laterally and he can't really play in the post either, especially at the 3. I can't think of who to put in for Zion. Like, there's a lot of good cheap wings, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Actually, Dante Exum at the 2 isn't a bad shout. And then, oh man, this is kind of tough. Like, Andre Roberson's actually not bad to run to 2 or the 3. He's a good shooter, good defender. Michael Cooper's the same. At the 4, obviously Marcus Morris, keep Jackson. At the 5, get rid of Hassan Whiteside and get Miles Turner. And then you're good. Like, Paul Pierce is good. Move Paul Pierce in for Kobe. Pierce is better than Kobe. But yeah, this team is not, like, sorry. Like, Kyle Lowry's a good player. Cat's a good player. Jackson's a good player. The rest of them are all, like, the rest of them are fine offensive players, except for maybe Jermaine O'Neal. They're all fine at playing as CPU, but you can get significantly better for your price. And again, if I came up against this squad, I'm telling you, all a player needs to do is hold the R2 button to beat this squad. And it's the unfortunate truth about this game. You just don't have enough clamps to be able to compete online. This squad's a 3 out of 10. Evoed up Hito after I took this, willing to sell some guys, run pick and pops and rolls. Okay, this team right now, I'm telling you, this is a really, really good squad. This is really, really good, especially for the price. There's one player that I don't think right now is worth the MT, especially with how little MT you seem to have. And I don't think having 40k tied up in DeAndre Ayton is a smart idea. As much as I like Ayton, I'd much rather have the 5-6k MT tied up in an Amethyst Mark or Miles Turner. Even though Ayton is a fair bit better than Miles Turner, I don't think he's enough better to justify paying 4 times the price. And I think that I'd rather right now sit on the 30k MT. I could be wrong, and Ayton could shoot up in price, just like I was wrong when I sold Embiid for Ayton. But I don't know. I just don't think he's worth it right now. But again, that does make the team slightly worse if you bring in someone like that. I'm fine with your power forwards. Your power forwards are good. But what I would do, and this might seem a little bit crazy, I would start Hito at the 4, Evoed. I would put Kerry Kittle starting at the 3, and I would put Marcus Morris at the 3 on the bench. So basically, I would split up Hito and Marcus Morris. And the reason for that is you've got no range extender players in your bench. And I always think if you have got, you need at least one range extender player. I really like Jerry Sloan as a 3-and-D player, and same with Kerry Kittles. They both do a very, very similar job. But so I don't think putting them on together is the best idea, especially when you've got someone like Powell and Hito do completely different jobs to both of them. Or even, actually no, probably start Marcus Morris. If you run 50% of your game with the bench, I just bring in Kittles for Hito and use Hito as your main scorer off the bench. Hexum's great backup point guard, and if you are playing against a guy who's not very good on offense, you can always run Jamal Murray. So, yeah, I like this team. I really, really like this team. Amir standing there for cheese. Kareem, I'm not the biggest fan of Kareem, but I know how effective he can be if you like the card. I'm going to give this team an 8 out of 10. And an 8 out of 10 is pretty good for this series. So now we have got a team that's kind of hard to see. So pick and pop or roll and kick it out. Willing to sell anyone. Keep with great work. Okay, so first of all, Evo up waiters. I like Levine. The unfortunate thing is that like Levine doesn't give you anyone good. As good as it was to lock in Levine, you've got Vince, who's almost as good. You got Eddie Johnson, who's almost as good, but Levine is still fantastic. Paul George is a really good player. I don't know what price PG is right now, but I don't think PG is any better than Danny Granger. And if PG is like 100k and Granger is like 40k, I'd just pick up a Granger. Pascal Siakam fine, Embiid fine. Your bench, oh, that's a problem. First of all, Evo up Hito, but that bench is a problem. You've got right now, obviously when Hito's Evo'd up, he gets gold clamps, but right now you've got a bench, you've got a fine starting line. Starting lineup's fine. We got a bench lineup where I can turbo pass most of them. You got 5 players with no clamps. I know obviously Mir Sands are rim protector, but you've got 4 players, 1 through 4 with no clamps. Marcus Morris, I know I always say buy Marcus Morris, not that version of Marcus Morris. The good thing is that you can swap out Clyde Drexler and Morris for DeAndre Hunter and Josh Richardson, which is a much better option. Amare is a decent player. Jamal Murray's fine, but I would always put in at least one clamps point guard instead, because again, all you need is 1 weak link and teams can expose that. So what I would suggest is just get rid of Morris, put in DeAndre Hunter there. I know a lot of people like Drexler. I don't. I think he's just a liability. But it's fine if you want to start him, but always keep Richardson there as one of your last 3. And then I would put in someone like a Dante Exum just at your end of your bench to try to help Jamal Murray. But starting lineup, I'm going to say, is probably an 8 out of 10. Might have a little bit too much tied up in Paul George. Bench lineup is like a 3 out of 10. So overall, this is like a 6 out of 10? Yeah, 6 out of 10 team. Okay. So, budget's 40k, mostly Vans. What does that mean? Budget's, okay. One tip I'm going to give you, and this might sound crazy because most people use this guy as one of their favorite players. Sell James Harden. Please sell James Harden. Like, again, actually, I don't know why I say this, because I'm judging this by, if I'm looking at this team, where I would spot the weak links. And the weak link in your starting lineup is Harden. The weak link on your bench is DeMarcus Cousins. Like, I would literally, if I was playing against this team, I would run I'd run someone like Dr. J at the 2 and just turbo past James Harden and score every single time. And then with your bench lineup, I would just run pick and pops, and Boogie can't do anything with them. And get some space, either hit the wide open shooter or get wide open off those screens. But again, against an average opponent, they're not going to expose one player with no clamps. But again, if you're coming up against someone that's fairly good, they will expose Harden. I don't think Harden's that expensive either. I'm just going to say, do I think what I would suggest, if Harden is the same price as Odom, move DeRozan down and buy Odom and sell Harden. Stockton's fine at the 1, but what I would suggest you to do, especially if you're not going for Ray Allen, sell Stockton and use either Kyle Lowry or Jason Terry. While Stockton, I think Stockton's probably a little better than Lowry. I think Terry's a little bit better than both of them. Those three are so similar, and the other two are a lot cheaper than Stockton. And DeMarcus Cousins, I would swap DeMarcus Cousins for Joel Embiid. I'd sell DeMarcus Cousins and I'd pick up a Pascal Siakam. Or put Odom at the 4. Or Odom at the 4 could work as well. Not my preference. I'd rather see Siakam at the 4, Odom at the 3, and DeRozan at the 2. But if you are set on Harden, I think that Odom at the 4, Embiid is your backup center, or Ayton is your backup center, and getting rid of DeMarcus Cousins, as well as swapping out Stockton for a slightly cheaper version of Stockton, the Jet or Kyle Lowry. They are two small changes. They're two changes that probably won't cost you any MT. And also they are two changes that make the team quite a bit better. So this squad is probably, I say 7.5 out of 10. Not bad at all. Okay, mostly do driving, kickouts, pick and roll. Any recommendations? So you've got, the starters are fine, except as much as I like Jeff Petrie, I think Jeff Petrie is fantastic on offense. He is blow by bait. Like, he is, actually wait. You've got Exum there. So if you are being destroyed by someone blow buying a Petrie, you can just put Exum in. And Petrie is so cheap that is not the worst idea in the world. Like, that is not the worst thing in the world. So because you've got someone that can back him up as a third choice point guard that has clamps, that's perfectly fine. Starting lineup, I like Morris, I like Hito. I think Granger's good at the 2, bit of height, good spot up shooter, especially because he probably, if you have Petrie on the floor, you're realistically not running your offense through Granger. And in driving kick situations, he's very good. Ayton's fine. Your bench, however, man, that's scary. That is scary. So you've got non-defenders in Kobe and MPJ. However, both Kobe and MPJ are pretty good offensive players. You've then got Kat, who's too slow to play the power forward, not good enough on defense to play the power forward, and Rudy Gobert at center, who can't shoot the ball. So the problem again with you running center as a power forward is you come up against Giannis an awful lot, or Lamar Odom, and both of those guys are just going to burn whatever center you run the power forward. That's a quick first step problem. So I would put in, I'd say sell Kobe. If so, I'm going to say if you don't, to not lose you out in EMT, sell Kobe, sell MPJ, and sell Gobert. Move Cat to the 5. Oh, and sell Cat as well. Put Embiid at the 5. The 4, put in Pascal Siakam. At the 2, put in Norman Powell. At the 3, this is a tough player to put. Tough one to think of. Someone for very cheap that can hold around the 3. Basically, any range extender and clamps. There's none that I can think of. There is actually none that I can think of. Maybe move Hito to your bench. Move Marcus Morris to the 3 in your starting lineup. And at the 4, like, saving up for Odom would be ideal. But I'm trying to think who can be good to use the 4. Throwing in Jonathan Isaac maybe of your last 3. I don't know, but yeah, I just don't think the backcourt or the wing duo of Kobe and Porter Jr. is going to work well. CP3 is fine, especially because how cheap he is. Gobert is a liability, so is Cat when they're on together. I think Gobert is a liability anyway. Don't think Cat is when he's by himself. And you've also got Kareem there as well, so you got a bit too many centers. I'm definitely forgetting some. Oh, Josh Smith. Oh, you probably can't afford Josh Smith. I don't know. This team's probably, because of the bench, probably about a 6 out of 10 as well. Starting line, you don't need to change starting lineup as long as you keep Exum there. But even someone like, I don't know, just something simple like Kerry Kittle's the 3, Norman Powell the 2, Siakam or Josh Smith at the 4 instead of Siakam, and Cat at the 5, and sell Gobert, Porter Jr. and Kobe, and it's probably around the same price, and your team is significantly better. So 4 out 1 in, budget 100k. I don't like Dinwiddie, so sell Doncic. I don't like Dinwiddie at all. Actually, no, it's not I don't like Dinwiddie. I just don't think he's usable at the comp level. I don't like Dinwiddie, but considering the players you have around him, he's fine. Your 2-3-4 are perfect in your starting lineup. If you aren't going for Richard Jefferson, I wouldn't be opposed to getting rid of Vince Carter or Paul George and getting Eddie Johnson and getting rid of the other one and getting Danny Granger. You're making very, very minimal downgrades for a big MT, or like big saving of MT. I hate Giannis with a passion. I would swap Giannis for any of Siakam, or either of Siakam or Josh Smith. Your weakest link is without question the point guards, because it is blow by city. Doncic, sell him and buy like Kyle Lowry or Jet Terry. You're not going, again, those cards are much better. You're not going to be blown by as much, and you're also going to make some MTs. I'm pretty sure Doncic is more expensive than them because he is a 6-7 point guard. This team overall, though, 7.5 out of 10. Not a bad team at all. Budget baller, all MT will sell players to improve for it when in. Okay, so this is like a 9 out of 10 team. This is like, the only suggestions I can give are ones where I can say, look, I prefer X player over Y player. Just like I can say something like I prefer Josh Smith over Siakam, which I don't necessarily think is true, but they're the only type of tips I can give. Your point guard situation is fine. Your 2 guard situation is fine. Your 3 situation, Lamar Odom and Tatum, is fine. Your power forward situation is fine. Your center situation is fine. Like, as much as I do like actually giving tips, when there's no tips needed, there's no point. For the amount of MT, this is about a 9.5 out of 10 squad. There is no even option, I think, for you to save MT. Like maybe Embiid over Cat. But there's no like even cheaper alternative at any of your positions that are even close to being as good. This is like borderline God Squad team that's about 300k, 400k. I know 400k is expensive, but at that price, you're at the sweet spot where it's significantly better than a budget squad, and it's only a tiny bit less than a God Squad. Any suggestions made will be significantly more expensive. So, yep, there's no suggestions I can make. Good job. 9.5 out of 10 squad. Like, and the only reason I'm not saying 10 out of 10 is because I'm not even sure if the perfect squad exists in this game. And until, like, well, actually no, there is one exact perfect squad in my opinion, and I have yet to see anyone run it. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.